Hey there, this is CK Barlow, and this is another in my series of interviews with artists for the UNM Arts Management course called Arts Entrepreneurship. And today I'm so delighted to have with me singer-songwriter and former, maybe even still, stand-up comedian and all-around lovely award-winning performer, etc., marvelous Helen Austin.
Hello.
There she
That was nice. I like
is. You like that? I stumbled a little bit. Do you have a SoundCloud link or a website link or anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, everything kind of links from HelenAustin.com, so you just go there and it's all pretty clear how to find me in other places.
Awesome. Okay, and that's just so everybody knows, it's Austin. That's Austin,
Texas, yeah.
just like the city in Texas. A very, very cool musical city in Texas. So that's appropriate. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, how do you make a living? And I don't want you to provide any more detail than you're comfortable with, but just, how do you piece together a living doing what you do?
Well, first of all, I'm lucky enough to have been married for a very long period of time to somebody who makes a normal living. So I don't have the stress of, oh my God, I've got to make the money today. I've got to have the regular income. So, but I also have kids, so I am the kind of the caregiver, and my husband is the breadwinner. However, obviously when I earn money, it adds to the household. So I make money by licensing my music for TV, ads, movies. I gig as well, and yeah, sell CDs, sell music online, all that stuff.
Okay, great. And now I know about your duo with Paul that's called Big Little Lions. So but he lives in Cincinnati and you are in Canada. Where in Canada?
I'm on Vancouver Island, which is in Canada, in BC, which isn't not to be confused with Vancouver, which Paul always goes Vancouver. I'm like, I'm on the island, so it's a big island off Vancouver, 2-hour ferry.
Okay, great. So knowing that you two are geographically disparate, when you say you're gigging, is that solo or with a different ensemble or?
I gig solo. I gig with my daughter a lot. She plays fiddle, does backing vocals, glockenspiel, all that stuff. So we gig together quite a lot, but really mostly locally, because I said I didn't want to do any touring. I did a lot of touring when I was a comedian, and I just didn't want to be away a lot when the kids were younger. But all that's going to be changing with Big Little Lions because the kids are getting older. My daughter's leaving next year, and she's in Big Little Lions as well. She's the fiddle player and backing vocalist, Big Little Lions.
Okay, great. So solo, local performances, and then plans.
I just kind of casual. I do a lot of fundraisers locally. We have a great community here, so I try and do as much as I can fundraising wise, and any little things I'm asked to do. And my kids both play fiddle, so I do stuff with them. So I play out as much as I can just because I want to play.
Yeah, see, now that's a great thing to bring up for the students watching this video, is the fact that I heard you say you put yourself out there for basically just about anything that comes up, and particularly fundraisers, because you're very tied into and appreciative of your local community. And I feel like that's a hallmark of people who are doing well with this kind of pursuit, is that they get engaged in their communities and they give back, but of course at the same time you're getting out there.
Well, it's a win-win for me because I like playing, I like my community, and if it's raising money for something good, then it's all good. They've been so supportive of me. I mean, why wouldn't I be supportive back? It'd be crazy not to.
Wise words, wise words, and just the right attitude generally. I think that's awesome. So tell us a typical work day for you.
Oh my goodness! All right, I drag myself out of bed at 7 because my kids have to be at school, and I hate it every morning. I'm still conditioned after so many years of being in entertainment. I still want to get up at noon, but I can't. So I get up at 7, shout for a bit, get the kids out, and then as soon as they're gone, well, one of them's driving now, so she sorts herself out. And then as soon as they're gone at about 8:30, I just start doing whatever needs to be done. Like this morning, my publisher had asked for a song with certain words in it, and so I was writing a bunch of those. Paul and I are getting mixes. Well, Paul's doing a lot of mixes, so I was listening to mixes this morning. I was writing a pop song for a top line for some producers. I don't know where they are. They found us. Anyway, they want Paul and I to do the top line, so I was writing a bit of that. And then doing all the social networking, so I just do whatever's next, go, okay, what needs to be done now, and then move on to that thing. And when I run out of things and I find I'm looking at Facebook too much, I go and vacuum or wash some dishes.
Okay, great. Maybe this question isn't all that sensible for you, but maybe we can adjust it. It's basically, did you have sort of an aha moment in your life where you're like, music is what I want to do? But with you, something that I just learned about you at a conference we both attended a couple weeks ago is that you spent, did you say 20 years as a stand-up comedian?
Yeah, I did, nearly 20 years. I've always been a musician. I did music from the age of 7. I played the violin, piano, flute, all that stuff. And I went off and did performing arts at university, which is where I kind of moved from classical music into kind of the pop world. But then I kind of got sidetracked into doing comedy because I started writing parodies, and I found it was working, and comedy paid really well for a really short amount of time, and it was a kind of cool job to have. So I kind of fell into that, and I enjoyed it for a long time. And it was great when I had kids because I could go out to work, do a couple of gigs in the evening, and be back home, spend all day being a mum. So it was a great job. But yeah, I did that for nearly 20 years, and I was doing it while I was living in Canada. We moved in 2002, and I did it for another 5 years while I was still here, going back like 3 times a year and doing it. And then my heart wasn't in it, though. It was the music that my heart was always in.
So that entire time, almost 20 yeres, you were doing... I was doing
musical comedy, so I was still getting to perform songs, and I tried to get a band together for a while, and I never had the time because it was really hard to turn down the really well-paid work for something, especially in London, which probably wasn't going to take off because London is so saturated and so thinks it's so cool that I didn't stand a chance. So when I moved to Vancouver Island, where it's a smaller community, a lot of folk musicians, just a lot of artists in general, it was a deliberate move because I thought maybe now I can get away from comedy and actually do what I've always wanted to do, which was the music. And then when my youngest went to school full time, I said to my husband said, "So what are you going to do now?" And I went, "Do I have to get a job?" And he goes, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to try and write music for TV and film." And he said, "Go for it." And so that was a very deliberate thing. That was 2008. I went, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Okay, all right. So, but it's kind of in common with something that Paul said, which was that all those years he was performing really helped him hone his craft.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you've been playing and singing all this time. Even if it was parodies, even if it was musical comedy, you were still playing and singing, and you were still engaging audiences, and you were still gauging what worked for them and what didn't, and what they got excited about and what they were kind of like lukewarm about. And that all counts.
Music is so easy compared to comedy because if I am funny in between, it's just a bonus in music, whereas in comedy, obviously, it was a requirement.
Okay, yeah. Good comedy's hard. Good comedy's hard. Ask any actor. It's absolutely the case. Is there anything in particular that you do to help yourself generate new ideas when you're writing?
I like the listings that you get. I like it when my publisher sends me something and says, "I want it in this style." Oh, I want it about this. Because sometimes my first album, when I first got into music, I put an album out in 2007, and it was so autobiographical. And I look at it now and I just go, "Oh my God, it's just my diary on my page." And then as each album went along, I stopped doing that so much because I just wanted to get out of myself. And then I did a thing from 2009 to 2010 called Song of the Week, where I wrote and produced and put out a song every week for a year. And so that stopped me from disappearing up my own backside, basically. And because I had to write something new every week. And I'd write about movies that I'd watched or books that I was into or stuff that was going on around me, but it kind of stopped being about me. Midway, I had a very good friend die, so that You know, obviously I couldn't help it become more about what I was going through or what my friend was going through when she lost her husband. So it was, yeah, so then that kind of overtook a little bit, but I wanted to get away from it all being just about my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I like writing about other people's experience. I use my daughter's love life to influence some songs. She knows it as well.
You know, I went down the sort of the YouTube spiral the other day. You know how that happens?
Yeah.
Like you watch a video that, you know, has a good and constructive purpose for your life or your career, and then all these other ones come up that look interesting. And I saw this brief little clip with One Direction being interviewed, and they asked Harry Styles how it felt to have basically his implosion with Taylor Swift being turned into like mega hit songs. And he was so cool. He basically said, we all write about our personal experiences. Every one of us does. So it would be hypocritical of me to criticize her for that. And besides, she's really, really good. So if anything, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, what a gracious dude. That
was really gracious because it's hard to not write from a little bit of what you do. I've been married for so many years. I'm very happily married, so I haven't got any angst in there. So I do, if my daughter's gone through a breakup, that's easy to write about because I'm with her doing it, and she doesn't seem to mind too much. Or let's say I find books are the easiest because you get absorbed in a book more than you do in a movie in a way. Because it's not put out there for you. You have to imagine stuff. So I've written a lot after reading books.
Okay, so here's a good one. What makes you happy?
Oh, God. I mean, I'm so privileged and fortunate in my life. Pretty much. I mean, my life just makes me happy. I mean, I've got a fantastic family. I've got great kids. I get to work with a great guy. Paul, don't let this go to your head if you're watching.
You should have just said it was not Paul, it was somebody else.
It's not Paul, it's some other dude. Damn, I wasn't quick enough. No, but I do. I mean, I've got great friends, and I live in a wonderful place. So I really have. I'm pretty happy most of the time. I wasn't always this way. I've gone through a lot to get where I am now, but I'm very fortunate.
You know, my last boss in my last corporate job said that I was the happiest person she'd ever met.
Aww.
And, yeah, and I think I'm pretty doggone happy. It's quite nice.
Well, because one of the things my friend said to me years ago when I had kids, and I was thinking, oh, the world is such a terrible place. What am I going to do? I'm bringing kids into the world, blah blah blah. And he said to me, all you can do is put happy kids out there, because if they're happy, they will spread happiness and they will be a positive thing on the world. And I have been miserable and I have been happy. And my goodness, when you go out into the world and you're miserable, you don't spread anything. And when you go out in the world and you're happy, you can see that reflecting on people. I live in a small town, and because the town has been so good to me, a lot of people know me. So people talk to me all the time. And sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, oh God, I just don't want to talk. But I always remember, no, smile, and you can make a difference just by smiling. So
isn't it incredible? And you just won the grand prize, which I don't know what it is, maybe like some M&Ms or something. But you just won the grand prize for stating that so clearly and so specifically, that basically your own positivity and your own outlook it does so much. It's just amazing. Like when I'm out running, I smile at the people that I pass.
Yeah.
And some totally ignore me, but others, like, they light up. They just light up, and it's the most amazing thing.
Well, we were just in Disneyland, and somebody walked, and my daughter's 17, but I let her get this. Oh God, one of the Frozen princesses. I don't even know what they're called. Anyway, let her get the princess dress because they had it in age 14 to 16. I went, oh, what the hell, get it. She put it on, and it made people smile. And but then Peter Pan ran past her, going, "You look like a blah blah blah. You look lovely," and just made her beam. And I was like, that's what I want. I want you guys to go out into the world and make people smile. Go out and be positive, and that's all I want from my kids, is go out and add. Don't take away, just add.
So there's what makes you happy, and then there's what motivates you.
I don't know what motivates me. I just love what I do. I mean, if I didn't, I mean, obviously there's the money aspect to it. It's really exciting when you get something placed or you get royalties and stuff like that. And you go, oh, I'm making money from music, because you can't believe it.
Right, right.
But I think if I didn't have to earn money, if there was money wasn't, I'd still be doing this, because I love doing it. I love a deadline. So deadlines motivate me, definitely. Accomplishing something, just getting it done, like this album we're doing. I get so involved in the whole choosing of the tracks and the title and the artwork and everything that goes along with it. I like a project, and then as soon as that project's done, I'm moved on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So in your experience so far, what have been the 3 most important skills for you as a working artist?
Oh, being organized. I'm a little anal in my organization. I'm not as bad as I used to be, because living on the island, you just can't, because it's island living. But I am organized, and working with 3 guys, because we've got Paul, but we've got a publisher and manager as well. I'm always nagging them to get things done. Organized, not taking yourself too seriously. You know, like every song doesn't have to be the best song you've ever written. Moving on from things quickly, just not kind of, not taking myself too seriously.
So maybe not being a perfectionist?
I'm not a perfectionist, no, not at all. This is the thing that drives my husband crazy. No, I'm not a perfectionist. So I want it to be good, but I want it to be finished. So
that's powerful. That is powerful right there. That's a nugget. I want it to be good, but I really want it to be finished.
Well, this is where Paul and I do quite well together. He's doing the production side, and so he's a perfectionist, and lyric-wise, he can be a perfectionist, and so he's good that he holds me to a higher standard lyrics-wise, which is good, but I get them done, which so that works well, and we both know when it's time to kind of go, okay, this is good enough. Let's do it, because nothing will be perfect. I mean, that's just impossible.
Right. When you were 25, what would have success meant to you then?
I mean, I was a successful comedian then, and I'd enjoyed my job, but I knew there was something missing. I knew that I wanted to do music, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, because Ira Glass has a great talk. If anybody in art should go and listen to that. And it's my taste was way better than my ability to make that music, and I just couldn't do it then. And I still, even though I was doing all my stuff on my own, when I met Paul at the optimum time, because my taste was exceeding what I could do, and his production skills brought to my music what I've always wanted to do but not had the ability, because I'm not a drummer, and he's got those skills.
Awesome. And what do you think of as success now?
A happy, contented life with some excitement thrown in.
What 3 pieces of advice would you give to college students who want to become arts entrepreneurs, which I'm just meaning they want to make a living doing the arts that they love?
First thing is, do the hard work. I get so many emails from people saying, hey, can you tell me how to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this? And you go, why do I want to spend the next 2 hours researching the thing that you should be researching? And it really irritates me. I've written a few articles, because there are people out there who just want the magic button. They want to go, there we go. If I just do that, then it will all be good. So I get a bit irritated about that. I do the hard work. Your journey will be different to everybody else's journey, and if you do the hard work at the end of it, or whatever, when you get to what you define as success, you'll appreciate it so much more than if somebody just handed it to you on a plate. And I think the people who are prepared to do that work are the ones who will succeed, and the ones who are always asking questions for the easy button. I don't mind people asking questions, but the ones that are looking for the easy button, they won't succeed, because they're not prepared to put in that work. Yeah. So that's one. Work. Just do the work. Don't ask people things if you can find it on Google. Yeah, so my advice is work hard. I mean, that's really kind of all it is work hard, don't take yourself too seriously. Um, I mean, if you do those two things, it's really just about working hard. I can't think about what else it is. I guess enjoy what you do. Try and and if you're not enjoying it, I was at a conference a few years back, and they said if you especially in the arts, if you have a plan B that you like, go do that. Because if you have a plan B, then this isn't your passion. Because I have no plan B. I never had a plan B.
Find that thing that lights you up. Work really hard at getting great at it, and then make sure to just check yourself once in a while and not take yourself too seriously.
Well, make sure there's a market for it. Well,
make sure there's a market for it.
Because there isn't. I know plenty of people who write songs and do music, but it's in a genre or in a way that it's not commercial enough. And I know that's like the dirty word, commercial. If you want to write songs for you and you're really passionate about it, but there isn't a market, then do it for you and do it as a hobby and do it for fun. But if you want to make it a living, there has to be a market for it. People, just because you're good at something doesn't mean people are going to pay money for it.
No, that's very wise as well. And I think that's definitely a topic we're going to be looking at in this class is sort of this line that some people create between art and business. Mm-hmm. The whole notion of selling out, what does it mean? Is it even a thing anymore? And the fact that, Paul and I discussed that he absolutely is capable of meeting the client's needs and simultaneously expressing himself as an artist. Without doubt. Without doubt.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, but I think it's important to recognize if you love writing songs, if you love painting, if you love writing poetry, awesome. But if you want to make a living at it, that means somebody else has to want it and love it enough and even kind of need it in the arts.
Yes.
Enough to pay for. Okay. Well, thank you so much. You win the prize for saying exactly the things that I think people in the arts, considering careers in the arts, needed to hear. And
cool.
So appreciate your time.
Oh, well, thank you. I enjoyed it.